Finding the right agent for your playstyle can be challenging, especially if you've just started playing Valorant and you don't yet know what your preferred playstyle is. Well, don't worry guys, my name is Maury and today I've got you covered with the beginner's guide to playing Sage here in 2022. Sage is a healer and a sentinel. Now, a sentinel, if you're unfamiliar and have just started playing Valorant, is a defensive expert who can help your team lock down the map using her abilities. This is going to help your team secure rounds. I am going to break down all of Sage's abilities today, how and when to use them, as well as what to select in the pistol round when you're playing Sage. Let's not waste any further time and dive in. Alright guys, so first up we have Barrier Orb. Now this is an amazing ability which really just makes Sage who she is, and her ability allows her to build a giant wall which can be used to block off sections of the map, making the enemy team rotate in a direction that you want them to. So for example, if they're trying to push a bomb site and there's two routes into that bomb site, if you block one of them off with your Barrier Orb, that team may be forced to go down the other route, which then you and your team can focus on and be ready for. Barrier Orb, you can actually rotate the wall around so you can place it from behind cover. You can also do little tricks where you stand on top of the outline before placing the wall, which means as the wall is built, you rise up on top of it, which can allow you to basically pop out from on top of the wall and surprise enemy teams who are not expecting you to be there. I'll make a future video about where you can place your Barrier Orb so you guys know exactly where to place the wall if you're on offense and defense on each of the maps. But for today, we're going to keep it super simple and just explain the fundamentals so you can go in and start playing around with Sage and get a feel for it yourself. Keep in mind though, if you do lock off a section of the map, enemies can, if they have a strong enough gun, something like a Phantom or a Vandal, break through the wall in about one clip. So don't block it off, walk away totally and assume that the enemy cannot get through, because they definitely can. They just need to concentrate their fire. Also, if you've got enemies like Jett on the other team who can obviously jump the wall using updraft, then that's something you need to keep in mind. Sage's second ability is Slow Orb. Now this layers the ground with a thin layer of ice, slowing anyone who walks across it. Both your team and the enemy team will be affected by this. Makes strafing incredibly hard and makes it really easy to shoot enemies who are stuck within the Slow Orb, but also it will make a crackling noise like ice breaking under their feet, so you know an enemy is pushing through a corridor before you actually see them. Now why would you use the Slow Orb? A Slow Orb is effectively used to prevent teams from pushing you for whatever reason. It's a defensive move. So let's say you're trying to plant the spike and you're trying to stall long enough to actually get that spike down, so then you're ready for the fight when the team pushes in. You could throw down a Slow Orb in the route that you know the team is coming to make them be more cautious, wait 10 seconds, all of a sudden you've got the Slow Orb down and you are aiming, pre-aiming that wall again, ready for the next fight. Another scenario may be you're hurt, you're trying to get away, you need to heal. You drop a Slow Orb behind you and continue running. That way the enemy has a harder time following you. So there's a lot of different routes that you can use to actually slow down the enemy team in your favor to help you get basically reset around in your favor. You could also plant the spike, wait until the enemy is pushing, throw down a Slow Orb to help drain out the clock, so that way even if the enemy team kills everyone on your team, hopefully the timer is down so low that the spike still blows up and you guys win the round. Sage's third ability is Healing Orb. Now if you right click with Sage whilst holding the Healing Orb, you will heal yourself, and if you left click you can choose to heal any one of your allies. After you use Healing Orb, it'll go on a 45-second cooldown, so if you actually play your cards right, you can use Healing Orb more than once in a round. This is a crucial move because we all know that feeling when you've just survived a fight, you've got 1 health, and you know even if you get shot in the toe, you were out of the round. Sage has the ability to bring that player back into the fight with almost full health. Sage's ultimate is Resurrection, which allows her to bring a dead teammate back into the round with their weapon and basically take a scenario which could be a 1 versus 4 to a 2 versus 4, giving you a slightly higher chance of winning that round. You do need to be careful about when you actually choose to res your teammate though, because they will go into an animation which prevents them from moving while they're being resed. However, the enemy team can still shoot them while they can't move, basically killing them straight away. So you need to basically res people only when they're behind cover or you're confident that there is no enemies looking in their direction. For the pistol round as Sage, we recommend keeping the classic that you're given at the start of the round. The reason for this is Sage has Barrier Orb, which costs 400 credits. It's one of the most expensive abilities in Valorant. However, in the pistol round, it takes a lot of pistol shots to actually break through this barrier. So you are very effective at actually locking off a section of the map, because if you build it, they're going to have to spend almost half of their ammunition just trying to get through that wall. So it is very effective, and most teams will just turn around and go a different route rather than opting to go through the actual wall. So we recommend definitely picking up Barrier Orb, leaving only 400 credits. That's going to rule out getting a Ghost or a Frenzy. So keeping the classic and then having a choice of either slow orbs or light armor is the way that we would go. Now, how you pick between slow orbs or light armor depends on if you're attacking or defending. If you're defending, we recommend going with the slow orbs because you can help run out the clock, slow down team pushes, allowing your teammates to rotate in to help cover if they're at the other side of the map. However, if you're attacking, the odds are your whole team's going to be together. You're going to be pushing as a single unit, and therefore we recommend just getting some extra armor to help keep you alive so you can heal teammates and be more effective in the round. So what are my final thoughts? Sage has the ability to change rounds with both her heal, her Barrier Orb, as well as Resurrection. So she is a very versatile agent, can help support the team, and therefore should probably not be the first one to peek the corner. If you die at the start of the round, you have no value that you can add to the team. However, if you watch the flank and one of your teammates dies and you have your ultimate, you can bring them back into the fight. If one of your teammates peeks, gets the first blood, but loses a lot of their health, you can res them. So you have a lot of ability to support the team provided you're alive. So you want to be second or third person in, not first in. You want to watch the flank a lot of the time. If your team is pushing a bomb site, you can cover and make sure no one is sneaking up behind you. And that is how I would recommend playing Sage. That's it for this video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this one, and if you did, consider subscribing if you aren't already. And until next time, guys, keep gaming.